soul. This is gonna be like true life. I'm a gamer. My name is Jeff Watkins. I'm a lifelong resident of Syracuse, New York, and do a lot of things. I'm the owner of Cloud City Comics and Toys. I'm also a DJ. I'm also an activist. I'm also a husband and a father, which are my favorite responsibilities. And generally just try to be an upstanding, good person. I've been collecting comics since I had training wheels on my bike. In fact, that's why I got a paper route. That's why I shoveled driveways and mowed lawns in the summer, because I get extra money to get more comics. Comics are my career, and I'm lucky like that. Every week we get a new shipment of our brand new comics and our brand new action figures and our brand new graphic novels. So I get to have Christmas every week. I love Comic-Cons. I love going. Sometimes I go to them as just like a person and I buy a ticket. It's so fun. And sometimes I have a retail booth where my store is there and we're involved that way. Being amongst people of all ages who love what I love, whether it be comics, whether it's sports, whether it's gaming or TV or movies, like it's always fun to be around people that are like, you know, your tribe, your people. You find the commonality, and I guess that's kind of what we're here for as a species. Aren't we here to find out what we have in common? Aren't we here to find out what we share instead of what we lack? We live by 3 mantras here at Cloud City. One is, we don't have customers, we have friends. We don't use the word customer as a culture. We want people to feel like they're hanging out with their buddies. We want you to come in here and feel like you're on my couch talking about who could win, Hulk or Superman. But, well, it depends which Hulk. If it's the smart Hulk, it's Hulk. But if it's like dumb, maniacal Hulk, it's Superman. It's one of those images, like I could be anywhere, and when I see this, it just like, because when you're a kid, I mean, I was delivering newspapers. I was Santa Claus at Penn Mall when I was 16 years old. That was my first part-time job, just so I could buy like more comics, and I dreamed of the day that I could have a Hulk 181. And now people bring them to me. Like, I've been through like a dozen of these, or more. So it's pretty fascinating when something like this comes in. And there's that moment when someone brings in like a comic collection and you're just like, your jaw hits the floor and you're like, this is marvelous. Like, this is, the best is when they don't know. And our second one is the superhero code. Everything we do like a superhero would do. Whether we're buying somebody's comic collection, or we're asked to donate, or we volunteer, we are in the superhero business. If we don't act like superheroes, what are we doing? And finally, our third and final mantra is get in touch with your inner superhero, which is, we're passionate and we match the passion of everyone around us. Very few people are mildly into comics. People that are into comics they're encyclopedic, they're passionate, and they've been at it for a long time. So we gotta be able to know what we're talking about. We gotta be able to match that passion. So luckily we're super dorks too. I've been an activist most of my life, going back to being real young. I was 20 years old when I was sentenced to 7 months in prison for doing $200 damage to a fur coat. And I turned 21 years old in solitary confinement. I was in the hole for 2 months, because activism is needed in prisons as well. And because I was vegan, you know, they kept sliding under the door, you know, eggs for breakfast, meat for lunch. So I hadn't eaten in like 3 days at that point. So I just said, you know what, it's my 21st birthday. I'm on day 3 with no food. I'm in a dark room that I've been in for a month. And this is not the way that people should be turning 21. This is not how one should welcome adulthood. So I said, I'm done. When I get out of here, this activism isn't for me, because it's costing me too much. And it's not fair, and it's not right. And I said, so if you're up there and you want me to continue to embrace these ideals that animals aren't food, and women don't belong to men, and children shouldn't be abused, and our planet should be respected, if you want me to act like that, if you want me to believe that, then you better show me I'm on the right path, because at this point I'm exhausted and I'm done. And no sooner that I finished that thought, my cell door opened and a guard had come in, and I didn't know what was about to happen next, but he reached up in his back under his jacket and he pulled out a bunch of bread and some peanut butter and said, I'll lose my job, make sure you don't have any crumbs, and handed me this food and left. And so I guess at that point I was pretty obligated for the rest of my life to be an activist. My 2 best friends, Joel and Justin, we set sail for Antarctica, where we confronted a whaling ship. And we confronted a whaling fleet, but we weren't there to demonstrate. We weren't there to hold banners. We were there to physically intervene on behalf of these whales. That included myself and my friend Joel being put on small Zodiac boats and physically confronting the Nishin Maru whaling ship, disabling its propellers. Sea Shepherds is dedicated to nonviolence, so we're not there firing guns and we're not at war. So we had to find a way to disarm a boat without hurting any of the people inside, despite the fact that we were opposed to what they were doing and didn't believe that they had the right to do it. And then we docked in Cape Town, South Africa in 2006 and flew home to JFK and then back up to Syracuse. And we decided that we were gonna kind of be grown-ups and do our own thing. And that's when I started my comic store, and Joel opened an amazing vegan restaurant, and Justin works in the cinematic industry right now. I think real activism goes beyond demonstrations and making signs and being on social media. Like, it's how we treat each other. But I also think it's the way we shop. It's the way we spend our money. If a firefighter needs to pull someone from a burning building, he's got to have the equipment and tools to do that, which is paid for with tax dollars. And the roads that we use to drive to work are paved with tax dollars. And the schools that our children go to are supported by tax dollars. Those are picked up by small businesses. So we have to stick together as small businesses. We have to walk the walk. I'm a white heterosexual male, age 18 to 45. For all intents and purposes, I run it. And I'm lucky and I'm fortunate, and I have more privilege than most. And I have access to the internet, which is more than a lot of the world has. So I'm lucky to own a business. I'm real lucky that I get to sell comics. I'm really lucky that I get to DJ music and fill dance clubs. That's really good fortune. So I'm not gonna squander it. If I had to go through all that to get like here in this day right now, where I'm like standing in my comic store and I'm married to my wife and my friends are my friends, I would go through all the bad stuff to get to here right now. And that's, I always want to feel that way.